Woo!
Yeah.
Loose cannons.
Cannons.
I'm No Justin No Peace.
Yo, and I'm Lou Rivers.
And we are the Loose Cannons Podcast, because every week, and that's every week, we are firing off our opinions on today's pop culture.
What else?
Politics.
What else?
Movies, TV, and how they all intersect. And oh, baby, this is part 2 of the movie review, Black and Blue.
Yo.
Directed by Deon Taylor.
Nice.
Starring Naomi Harris.
Who else?
Black Tyrese Gibson. Listen.
Luke Cage, what's his name?
Oh yeah, something Coulter. What's his name? Something Coulter.
And I forgot the other guy's name. Gosh.
The dude from the Second Purge.
Yeah. Gosh, I usually know him.
I like him too.
He's a good actor.
I like him.
But I think he's got a Netflix deal too. He's done a couple
He is
movies.
in a lot of Netflix movies. Netflix giving people money.
I know.
Listen, all right. Ooh, Loose Cannons Netflix special.
Yeah.
Holla.
You must have read my mind. Did you?
Holla.
Did it go
That's
over
right.
there?
It'd be the Patriarch with Hassan Minaj, Trigger Warner with Killer Mike, and the Loose Cannons Podcast.
I'm with it.
That's a great lineup right there, guys. Boom. All right.
Call our agent.
Black and Blue. Directed by Deon Taylor.
Yes.
Very intense topic. Here's the synopsis. Naomi Harris.
Yes.
Is she a rookie cop? She's a rookie cop.
She's a rookie cop.
Rookie cop. She 2 tours in Iraq.
Yes. Just got home. Came back to her home in Louisiana to New Orleans to help out with her community and join the force and do the best thing she can. Right.
She goes on the night shift.
She takes a night shift for her partner.
Gets lined up with somebody that she's new to.
OG.
Yeah. Very different, very tough.
And you know, OG beat cop, you'd be like, why are you doing
That's right.
Why are you on the beat still?
First thing he tells her, one of the things he tells her, you think you black?
Yeah.
You ain't black.
You blue now.
You blue now.
Okay.
So boom, he gets a call. They have to go for a run. It's early morning.
Yep.
She's out the car because she thinks she sees something going on. Then she hears some gunshots.
Yep.
She's worried about her partner. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
She goes in there. She sees the partner and some other officers.
The vice cops.
And they shoot a black boy.
Yep.
Popped them.
Assassinate.
187. Along with some other ones that were already killed. She happens to capture it on her body cam. They see her. One of the vice cops turns to shoot her. Pops her.
Yep.
Falls through the floor.
Yep.
That's where the show starts. We know she doesn't die there.
The run.
Now she on the run. They're trying to get the video footage. We understand that she has to return the footage
to load it up.
Or otherwise it's not going to be there because I guess no Wi-Fi on the stuff. So that's the whole story. It goes from there. Noble woman on the run.
Rock and roller coaster.
But she's a cop alone because the cops is not working with her. They working against her. And the community, the streets.
Done.
The streets is done because of the history.
Yep.
How does she make it back?
Yeah.
Who was she going to find to help her?
Right. And I mean, she does a good job. Earlier in the movie, you kind of see that she reconnects with some people who are from her past.
That's right.
And Tyrese plays a cousin of one of her best friends from when they were younger, who's not on the same page as her
at all.
Yo, now you
or the same side.
You on the other side now, yo.
That's right.
That's it.
She chose.
Right. So obviously, after a couple brushes with trying to save herself, she runs back to the store where Tyrese works.
That's right.
And it's just
he's reluctant because he's like,
look,
they gonna kill me too.
Right. You gonna get me in trouble.
You
see, he's a former felon.
That's
so
right.
It's kind of like it's a lose-lose situation. I'm trying to get my life together.
That's right.
You just put me in a bad spot, yo.
That's right.
So
I'm just trying to open up the store.
I'm doing my best to look at Tyrese and not think of Roman from Fast and the Furious.
But I still think it's one of Tyrese's best performances.
Yes, I was gonna say the same. You like what's the movie he did with when he was a sailor with James Franco?
Annapolis?
Yeah.
I can do without it.
Okay. I heard that they don't like each other.
Really?
Because of the movie. I have no clue what happened. But, you know, I got the juice.
Damn.
Anyways, got the tea, sir.
Tyrese be rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, huh?
Yeah.
I still like Tyrese,
Me
though.
too. I think he's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know, what more do you want from me?
Yo.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Have you seen the recent interview with him talking about that whole situation and how he was going through the battles and then, the battles with custody, and then the doctor prescribed him medication, and apparently he doesn't do any drugs or drink. Okay. So he's saying that the medication really affected him. Ooh. He didn't even know that he did the video and posted it until a week or two later. God. After he's off situation, he's like, I had no idea what was happening.
Ooh. God.
That's a movie right there. I want to see that movie.
I know, right? I want to know it all.
I want to know it all. But it was really crazy because, you know, a lot of these drugs are really strong. Yeah. Are really strong. And he was probably one of those people that didn't need the drugs, but modern medicine,
everything. You prescribed everything.
You just need to calm down.
Right. You just need to relax.
He's heroin. Yeah. But you don't have to shoot it up. Yeah, you don't have to shoot it up. Yeah, just pop them.
1 dose a day.
That's it. So he's like, "Yo, I was messed up. This, that, and the third. I had no idea all of this was happening." And he was like, "I was looking crazy." He was like, "I didn't even know." I said, "Will Smith gave me this," and he was like, "None of that." He was like, "What?"
Ooh, sweet baby.
Listen, if he lying, it's a good cover up.
Get a second opinion from a third doctor.
That's it. That's it. Going. Don't go on that medication, man.
But yes, he was actually pretty phenomenal. I was shocked. And I mean,
Naomi Harris was phenomenal.
Naomi Harris was great.
Those brown eyes, I couldn't. I was like, first of all, I'm supposed to feel suspenseful the whole time, but I'm like, she bad.
Tyrese, you're not gonna try to holler at her. You're trying to get your life together.
Like, I know you shot and all, but I'm trying to shoot my shot too.
I'm gonna shoot my shot too.
Them niggas shot at you, I'm gonna shoot at you.
You want me to cook for you? Like, what else?
Sweet lady.
I could serenade, you know. We could do this all. So,
but Naomi Harris' performance is really good.
Yes,
really, really good. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
Overall.
I messaged you the moment I got out, like, yo, this was way better than I thought it was going to be.
A couple of holes. I have a couple of things.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, I noticed, I'm pretty sure it was budgetary reasons, because there was no helicopters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We on the lookout.
There was no helicopters. Right.
There's a cop.
There's got to be helicopters, especially even in the last scene. Yeah. Any other movie that has the budget.
I was going to say it's New Orleans.
Maybe they don't have the budget.
No. You know how Bush do.
Yeah.
Anyways, my bad. Go on.
It would have been the state trooper cop helicopter. You know, it wouldn't have been like the New Orleans helicopter. It would have been. But the movie was shot very well.
Yes.
I enjoyed what the movie was. It just didn't have the zing. You know, like, it was like, you know, like we were there. Mm-hmm. It just didn't take me over. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? We were there.
Yeah.
I just didn't get. I didn't.
You didn't get the free fall. I didn't. It wasn't the ultimate climax.
Yes, I didn't get that, but I enjoyed all of it. Yeah. I enjoyed all of it, and I don't know if it was a choice thing, because I felt like they kind of wanted to make it feel more horrific than action suspenseful. All right. And because everything felt like a nightmare. Yeah. Because I felt like, what do you do?
Yeah. What more do you want from me?
Exactly. First of all, if they would have had her say that,
oh my God, that would have been hilarious.
It would have been hilarious.
Oh, it would have been a 5 cannon for me.
That's it. For one line. But it was shot very well.
Yes.
It was fun.
I like the acting.
The acting was bar none.
Yeah.
The action just wasn't
all there.
It wasn't all there.
Well, I mean, the stunt budget wasn't all up to.
Yeah, but the hand-to-hand too wasn't.
I don't know.
Okay, this is my
like
problem with the movie.
I like Black Panther.
Right. Okay. All right. this is my thing, right? So when you watch John Wick, the setup is John Wick is a great killer.
Right.
Believe that we see the fruits of that. You watch Gemini Man, one of the world-renowned killers. We see the fruits of that.
Right.
You watch Equalizer, trained to be a killer in the armed forces, CIA, whatever. We see the fruits of that. She did 2 tours in Iraq. All we saw her glue was her back. All we see her do was glue her. It wasn't enough. I wanted her to like.
Oh, you wanted her to be Rambo.
This is yes. I feel that that's equality.
Right.
Stallone should not be the only one cutting open necks. Right. I want Naomi Harris. But at the end we got that, but we didn't get
to get the AK. Like
that's right. We didn't get that throughout. Right. We didn't get it throughout.
Like she's a specifically trained something.
Yes, like I wanted to see her like do more. I wanted her to be a super opponent, and the only obstacle is that it's just so many people after her. You know what I mean? We see her do stuff, and we see her fight for her life. Well,
you know, like her taking down her partner in the.
It was all right. I needed more. Okay. I needed more. I needed more of her in the streets. I needed more of her running. I needed more of her shooting. You know what I mean?
You wanted to make sure that she got a 10-minute mile or something.
That's it. But you know, I don't know if that was on purpose, because it feels like the first half of it is maybe her attempting to be cerebral about her approach to everything. So like I'm assuming they attempted to make it realistic, but it's a movie, guys. Like I need you to over-exaggerate for me. When you say action-packed thriller, I need Naomi busting shotties one-handed, like boom, like I need her shooting over Tyrese's shoulder, like bow, you know what I mean? Give me that shot. She put Tyrese's head down. She slaps his bald head and just shoots over his shoulder. He was like bang, bop, bop, busted. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
I need Tyrese, you know, driving the El Dorado and he flips it around and she busts out the door like bop, bop, bop. You know what I mean? Like I need all of that. I need all of that because this was a great opportunity, because this easily could have been a man.
Right.
They could have made this a man at any point. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't want it to be a man originally. Right. But the fact that it was Naomi Harris, I wanted her to get the opportunity to do what Taraji did not do in Proud Mary. Because, sorry, listen. That's you understand what I'm saying?
Like, cookie like
that? I'm sorry. It was bad. I was so excited for Proud Mary. I was watching it with my wife, and we both looking at each other like,
it's gonna get good too, right?
Sometimes it's building up.
That's exactly how I felt.
It's coming.
You know when you watch a movie and in the first 5 minutes you're like, oh, I'm gonna regret this.
It's coming. No. Wait, hold on.
Oh man!
Oh, it didn't happen.
I hope she don't hear this.
Listen, we love you.
We love Taraji.
You know this wasn't your best, and I want her to get another chance. And that's what I want. Like I want a woman of color to get the opportunity that Sigourney Weaver got when she did Aliens 2.
Right.
I'm like, yo, Sigourney bad. Let's go.
Right.
I want her to get I forgot homegirl's name, but Terminator 2. You know what I mean? Linda Hamilton. Come on. Yeah. Like make them strong and powerful and bussin'.
Right. And they don't have to be no superhero movie.
They don't have to be a superhero. She's surviving.
Right.
More people gotta die. You know what I mean? Like towards the end, more she got more people to die. But
they didn't have enough villains.
Okay, and here's my other flaw. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm telling you guys to go watch the movie because it actually is fun. Right. It's just not that fun. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that. Michael Coulter.
Yeah.
I liked him, but I didn't love him. It was too much.
It was too much, but I liked it.
At certain points, it felt right. I felt like, okay.
I was glad that it was a role that it wasn't like he was accustomed to. Like I was just like, okay, get your gangster on, okay.
How I felt when I watched his performance is like
he can't talk with the fronts though.
Kill my cousin.
Like, what? What'd he say?
What
he say? Repeat that?
Kill my cousin. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I definitely felt
like
that.
it was too much at certain points. It was like, Mike, calm it down.
Yeah.
Like, bring it down. Bring it down. You're already big. Like but then it was like scene to scene, he did great. It was enough.
Right.
But then it was too much. Like, it didn't need to be Michael Coulter. You could just got any great thug actor.
Nah, man. They needed... He needed this role as much as they needed.
It was like Chi would tell in Four Brothers.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is Michael... Why does he have gold fronts? Yeah. Why, okay, you know, what made me annoyed was when he walked in with the fur.
Oh.
Let me see his body.
Yeah.
Can I close his eyes?
Now you can't touch a man.
You know what made me feel like I didn't. You know how like some people you be like, they're so good, you kind of believe that that's them.
Yeah.
That was not Michael Coulter at all. When they yelled cut, they was like, guys, it's way too hot in here. That's my English accent. Even though I know he's not English, I just imagine like he's like has an English accent.
So proper, he's English.
He's so proper. He's English and not from anywhere in Europe at all. It's like, you know, Dion. So when I dig into the character, I want the audience to feel the fatherlessness.
and Tyrese is in another room like, what more do you want from me?
Tyrese is killing them out there. He's come a long way from Baby Boy.
Ooh,
a long way.
Jody? Oh, okay.
A long way from Baby Boy.
God dang.
Wait. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Tyrese trying to get awards with that one tear.
Yo.
I was like,
okay.
You better give Denzel his tear back. You better give him his tear back.
I'll tell you my only problems with Tyrese throughout the movie. Yo, you got to be steady with that limp. Like, the moment you shine the leg, you got to be limping the whole time. You can't walk regular for 2 steps.
Yeah, no.
Limp the other 7. Like,
yeah.
I saw it.
No.
I know it. My leg
That's right.
hurt watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, all right.
But the thing is about the movie, it's like, it's a good movie with flaws.
Yeah.
Like, it's an enjoyable movie. It's actually a movie
I'm greatly entertained.
I'm going to watch it again. It might be actually be better the second time.
So this is the crazy part. It has rewatchability.
Super rewatchable.
I think that, for
the last 20, 30 minutes is
Yeah.
super rewatchable.
I think I'm starting to realize that that's a real important category for me. Like, I'm starting to realize
Can you watch it again?
Yeah.
A lot of movies don't fit that category.
That's crazy.
Like John Wick 3. I'm going to just get it and watch it by myself because my wife doesn't want to watch it again with me.
Yeah.
She's like, we did it already in the theater. I'm like, I gotta see it again. I want to see it with the one guy.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
For it to
I
come
can't
out.
wait.
Yeah.
But we're one of those. We're rewatchers.
Right, yeah.
We're people who want to relive.
If
that
something
experience.
is good, like, it's crazy how a movie could be bad or like not great for in the movies, but it's got great rewatchability. So I feel like something that has great rewatchability and people don't realize it is something like The Italian Job that comes on all the time.
At any point.
It comes on, you just gonna put it on.
Inside Man.
I'm not even a Mark Wahlberg dude. Like, but Italian Job comes on, I'll be like, I can watch it from any point.
It's a good
and
ride.
It's good.
It's a good ride.
Right. Takers. Takers comes on a lot also. I'll put on some Takers, but it's a movie that
had problems too.
It definitely did.
I had problems with that.
It is. But movies that have rewatchability, even though they're not great, like, so.
Dang, Homie Harris, I think she did that fall too.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
That's serious.
Yep.
That guy kind of got on my nerves. He was a little extra.
Oh,
the sidekick,
the other bad cop.
Yeah.
But he always plays like that role. Like, I don't know.
But you see how like that last scene where she's getting out?
Yeah.
If that would have extended, that type of experience would have extended.
Oh, how she shot him? Like that
just the whole,
scene?
yes.
Yeah.
If that would extend it early in the movie, then you really have a great action packed thriller with social commentary.
Well, I think the tough part was they couldn't really have her kill another cop before.
Early, you're right.
Because that would just change the whole dynamic of the movie.
See, that's the thing. As I think what they did, which makes sense, was hold accurate to who she was, which was, I'm trying to get away and not harm any of my people because they don't really know what's happening.
They could have given her a fight scene where she didn't kill anyone, and then they're like, "How did she get away?" It was just like, "Yo, she."
That's right.
Something like that. Yeah.
If she equalized more people, just like beat them, leave them, cuff them.
Like he's just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna take her over because I'm a cop and she's a cop and I'm a dude."
And how did they not find her when she was hiding under the? She was.
If my eyes could roll back any further in my head.
You know how they do the scared.
Yeah.
Come on.
You could have hit her a little bit better than that.
Come on.
Anyways.
But I do like listen, the story worked because they set up the whole last scene to make sense why she would go there and why it would all work out. But here's the whole. Michael Coulter only beating Tyrese. He only punched him up.
Right.
Like, as a supervillain, he should have sliced him, cut him, try to, do more to get the information out of him. I don't know if it's because he respected Tyrese a little bit or what, but he shouldn't have just been punched up.
Yeah, you done watched New Jack City so many times, dog. He's like, he should have been bleeding.
I want more deaths. That's what I'm saying.
He should have been bleeding. Bleeding out.
More bodies. More.
We need more bodies.
More bodies, Dion. More bodies. You did a good job. Just not enough death. That's all I'm saying.
Just hanging there like, what more do you want from me?
I wanted to get at least do some lethal weapon on him. Shock him. Man, they should have had Shorty pushing him, shocking him. Have Tyrese. And then I was like, yeah, they got Tyrese. Because I wasn't feeling like the danger for Tyrese at that point. I wasn't feeling like they were going to kill him yet.
Die.
Yeah. It wasn't.
It was like, you got your nephew right there playing video games.
That's right. And then, this is full of spoilers, but they hit us with the Training Day reference.
Oh, which one?
Throwing her in the tub.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty.
She going down now.
She going down.
She going down now.
Wait.
How did you kill him?
First of all, I realized that hardened criminals are more apt to listen than the other police people on the force. They're like, it's you. We know it.
Get down. We're going to get her.
The hardened criminals like, all right, give her a chance. My cousin?
She could be telling the truth.
She could be telling the truth. Bitch, weird.
Yeah. And then they gotta break into the camera and everything. I was like,
why didn't she bring the camera with her?
Just in
case she got caught on the way.
In case she got killed or something.
Okay.
They wouldn't know that.
But who would have known it was where she left it?
But
if
this
she
is the whole
gets
thing.
killed.
If you recorded it, how is someone going to see that recording if they got to break into it to see the rest of the recordings? Anyways, I'm sorry.
Okay, if we sound like we're tearing this movie down,
it was good. It was good. I'm sorry.
All right, give it a score.
I'm going to give it 3 1/4.
I'll give it a 3.5. Okay. We're literally in the same place because it's nowhere near 5.4, but it's like I want to see more from the director.
Right.
Deon Taylor is talented. I think he did Intruder, the one with Megan Good and what's his name?
Michael Ealy.
Michael Ealy was Dennis Quaid. Yeah. Love Dennis Quaid. So he's super talented.
We talk about Megan Good bleaching, but keep going.
She bleaching? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Next week.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Listen, Black and Blue. You give it a 3.25. I give it a 3.5. It's an enjoyable movie. It's definitely enjoyable in the theaters. It's one of those movies you should see in the theaters because it's bigger and it just feels right. It feels right with all the sound. My theater was packed.
If you're an A-list Stubbs member, you have no reason.
No reason at all. I went to see it with my wife. We went out on a date and we couldn't see the first one that we wanted to see. It was at 7:30. Packed.
Wow.
Packed. And the only seat together was right in the front. which was horrible. Yeah. So we didn't do that. We waited for the late one, and that still had a lot of people. We got our tickets early. We got it at around 7 for the 10:30, and then that ended up being packed.
Oh, wow.
Mad people. So people are seeing it.
Yeah.
Especially that weekend.
I'm going to go check the numbers.
So hopefully it does well. Black and Blue, Deon Taylor. Listen, every week, we always have to explore a topic through the film. It's obviously glaring in this. This has to do with police brutality. But specifically, I will talk about like the good cop, bad cop theory. Okay. Because what he does do in this movie is I think he paints the picture of the tension all around and where everyone's going wrong. Where the community is now so adverse, they can't even see people who are potentially trying to help because they're so concerned about the way they've been treated in the past. Right. But we have this theory of the good cop, bad cop. And I think even when Tyrese did the interview, he felt like he needed to preface by saying, you know, and because he was talking about his experience in Watson, he was like, you know, I want to say that there are tons of good cops out there. I want to say is I don't know who's good or bad. Right. And the problem with the good cop, bad cop theory is that we automatically put percentages on that. By saying the good cop, bad cop theory is normally they say the large majority is good and the smaller majority is bad. I don't know what it is. And I feel like it's not even all or nothing thing. I think it's a case by case thing. Right. And you can live your life as a police officer and have saved children from a building, this, that, and the third. But if you turn a blind eye to one of your officers committing an atrocity to another individual, you become implicated in that. And you're just as bad at that moment because you were there to serve and protect the community. And you turned your back on the community at that point. Right. So the whole good cop, bad cop theory falls short where we imply that these people are only bad and these people are only good and like they don't merge. Right. All the people who they consider good cops are probably putting other people in jail who are supposed to be in jail, and they're also planting evidence on people who are not supposed to be in jail. So it's a mixed bag. But what it does show is there's a culture, and that culture is protecting each other. You're not black, you're blue. You're not white, you're blue. There's a whole new segment of individuals who are now creating the problems for themselves and trying to fix the problems for themselves and perpetuating the whole system. What do you think?
So, I was gonna say in the military we had the same saying where it's just like don't let the 3%, or depending on who your staff sergeant or whoever you had was, it would be like don't let the 3% or don't let the 10% taint your name. Yeah. And then it's so crazy that we always use this term police your own. Yeah. And it's like it's always that thing where you're supposed to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah. And it's so much tougher to do that when you're the new guy coming in. Because now everybody else has already accepted what the handful of people are doing. Yeah. Because now we all got to cover for that handful, you know? And it's so funny that, especially in the movie, we talk about vice. Yeah. Vice cops. And vice cops are usually the ones who, have to always deal with the drugs or whatever's going on, but they also are the ones who likely go undercover. Yes. And when you go undercover, you have to inhibit the behavior of the subjects that you're with. So absolutely. If they're doing drugs, you're doing drugs. And all this is going on. And it's so crazy that when, like, let's say this case happens and people don't realize that this is the reason why when those cases happen, the prosecution, they always have these cases go 6 months out or a year out. And people are confused as to why. It's because your lead witness has to go through rehab, has to get out, has to go take all these drug tests. And by the time he gets on the stand, he's clean shaven, has his uniform on, and is a totally different person than he was the entire time that he's working this case. So it's just so crazy that, like, these are things that actually happen. And whether that person is doing good or doing bad, or you're doing just enough to make sure that that person gets away. But there's so many different things that happen behind the scenes that if the normal person knows, they'll be like, oh, well, we should take that into account. Or we should think about how this happened, or so on and so forth, regardless of whatever it is. But I feel like it is always the handful. And I mean, like, even if it's not, there's a core group, and then there are the teachings that they teach the ones on the little outskirts.
Yeah.
So that now it's acceptable even to someone who's against it. You know? And that's tough.
Yeah.
To, like, always have that idea that, like, all right, well, now he's a partner with that dude. So now he saw him do it to me, but he can't say nothing because that's his partner. And I'm a nobody.
Yeah.
So he's just going to either accept it, put his name on the report, and I just got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Now. So does that make him as bad as the other one? It's just, it makes it different. It makes it bad. It's just, we wish that people had the integrity to stand up, and not because you've got more time on the force, because you know the difference between good and bad.
Yeah.
And you're policing the bad.
Well, I think the problem is, like, we tend to create it about a bad person.
Right.
It's not about a bad person. You did a bad thing.
Right.
You did a bad thing, and you disobeyed your rules as an officer. I don't follow the same rules as a police officer, because I'm not a police officer. I'm a civilian. And because you're a police officer, and because you are given this power, you have to do things a certain way. And if you don't do things a certain way, it starts to degrade. The problem is, we're in a society that puts winning above rules.
Right.
We want to catch the criminals so bad, we'll degrade everything to get them. But if you degrade everything along the way, you just become a criminal.
Right.
That's it. That's all you've done. That's all you've done is murder to catch a murderer. So it does not equal out. It
doesn't balance.
It does not balance out. So therefore, it matters how you do things in order to get them done. And the fact is, we got to take we have to take the winning away, and it's more about the approach. People in a community will help you if they feel like they can trust you.
Right.
You've lost the trust because you and your group of people have done something. And until police officers and police unions accept that as a whole, and it's hard because there are some people who want this to happen.
Right.
So until we take charge of our policing system as a community and say, you know what? You have to say, how do I want to be handled if I commit a crime?
Right.
Because that's how our Constitution is built. If I was indicted for charged with murder, how do I want to be taken care of?
Right.
How is the process going to be fair for me to prove my case against whether I did it or not? And that's how our system is set up. It's set up from the putting yourself in the situation of the person who has been charged, and then put yourself in the situation of the person who's doing the charging, and for the person, how do I want to be sure that this is the person who murdered my son or my brother? I want to make sure that the right person is in jail. All of those things work together. So then we're looking at it as like, oh, we're trying to find the facts. We're trying to get down to the nitty gritty. So the jury has to go through and say, oh, well, this is circumstantial. We're not too sure yet. No, it's not. It's not without a reasonable doubt. Some people may get away, but the most important part is that everything was fleshed through, and the people who were supposed to be in jail are in jail. And until we all come together and say that, we're going to have people who are constantly in jail who are not supposed to be there, and people who are not given a fair shake. Our system should not be overwhelmed. We're overwhelming it. We're putting people through the process for no reason. Reasons that have nothing to do with our safety. Smoking of marijuana has nothing to do with our safety.
Right.
Absolutely nothing. Most use of drugs have nothing to do with our safety. Absolutely nothing. We can totally fix most of this crime. Serial killers, that's a different story. But most of the crime that we exhibit, we can fix within the next couple of years by investing in communities, making sure people are working, and legalizing all of these uses and making it as safe as possible.
Right. Have you watched the Watchmen series yet?
No, the first episode was out. Was it good?
Was last week. It was really good. But have you ever read the graphic novel?
Mm-mm.
All right. So the only reason I brought it up is because a big part of that is about cops. So the way that they run cops is they all hide their identity. So they all wear masks. That's why every shot you see, like, they have the mask over their face, or you see the eyes. And the show actually begins with, like, him pulling someone over. And he comes up to the window. He says, you know that you're going to be recorded, this, that, and the other. Starts the camera. Hello, sir. This, that, and the other. So everything's being recorded.
Yeah.
Everything's live.
Yeah.
Going to headquarters.
Yeah.
When he gets to the car, he explains whatever the situation. He can't get his weapon unless headquarters releases it.
Oh.
So it's like a whole bunch of stuff that, like, rules, regulations to how. And when you're in the community, no one knows that you're a cop. You have, like, some backstory. But it's a way to protect yourself, but also to protect the people, because there's a big civil war with the cops. But it's just like, but then it kind of holds you accountable, because you never know who's going to be your partner or who you're working with, or you can't be reckless and just pull your weapon out any time. So it's like so many different things that it goes, you know, like, what else could happen, or how else could they be using this, you know? So and it's really good. I
gotta watch that. That's dope. So we talk about the good cop, bad cop theory, but there's also people who believe in reform, and there's people who believe in destroying it and rebuilding. Where do you land? Reform or destroy and rebuild?
If we had an actual idea of how we can change the brass of police forces into accepting a total different way of policing and regime, I'm for it. Otherwise, chances are no one's going to go for that. So chances are you kind of have to destroy the entire system.
Because of fear.
Yeah.
There was a video that came out. Another person, you seen the one in New York City, the train station, and I got to show you
beating
punching the dudes in the face.
I got to watch a lot of the news yesterday in New York.
Oh, it was on the news?
Yeah. Wild.
Okay. And then you see people, and then I go and read the comments, and then people are like, now, some of them could be bots from anywhere.
Right.
Some people would just be regular trolls, but they're like, kids don't know how to behave, they don't respect authority. And I'm like, what are you seeing here?
Right.
Did you not see the man just go punch, and then punch, and then get stopped by his superior, and then get into another situation, and then into another situation? Right. He is obviously just a problem. But the problem also is the superior decided that it was more important to arrest these kids than just get the out of there and then reprimand him.
Right.
Like, everybody should have been on him at this point.
Right.
Now, this is the implicit bias. The problem is with the implicit bias training is about race. I bet you know how they do those training simulations where they want to see who the cop shoots. Now, introduce in which a police officer murders a child right in front of the police officer. Would that cop shoot that police officer? Right. He's not doing his job. And I understand how people want to be like, well, but they're a part of a team. They're together. They have to. No, this ain't the Patriots, guys. Right. This is life and death. Right. This is justice. There should be more cops telling on cops.
Right.
Than any other group. Why? Because their point is supposed to be fairness and justice, and that's it. They're supposed to be keeping the peace.
You're supposed to serve and protect for every citizen.
Every citizen.
Yeah.
So all of that goes. They're not supposed to be grouped together and be looking for each other. It's like that whole idea. I got to look over. We're not in a war zone, guys. Right. That whole war zone mentality does not work here. And the fact is, stop sending them after these drug crimes. Get rid of all that shit. Stop it. We can limit the amount of cops significantly by taking away these unnecessary laws. Taking away the unnecessary laws and taking away the traffic stops. I'm not saying nobody should be stopping people in traffic, but there's other ways that we can work that system for it to be better. Not police officers pulling you over, having the gun, and then starting this approach. And again, I've said this before in a podcast, police officers should not be aggressive individuals. They should not be aggressive on that point of contact.
Your agenda should be to lower the stress of
exactly. You increase the stress. The fact that I'm going to make a mistake because you're yelling at me and I know you have a gun. Right. The idea of I don't know what another person has. You can't be a person who says I'm 2A and then say, well, I don't know if somebody has a gun. You're 2A. Right. Everybody could have a gun. Now it don't matter.
Right.
Everybody has a gun. So what? Everybody has a gun. Now you just have to approach it in the right way.
Right.
There are things that just make sense that just won't happen. But everybody's not trying to kill you, sir. Most people aren't trying to kill you.
Right. They should be able to test the tolerance of each police officer.
That's it.
That should be one of the most important tests. Like, what is your breaking point? So that then we could kind of figure this out.
Yes.
And we can start training that first, you know? But
I would love the idea of just reform. And I'm always going to be about reform. But I feel like the direction that our country is going, it's going to be destroyed.
Right.
Is going to be destroyed. The reason why it might need to be destroyed is because it's easier for me to trust something new than to trust something that's been old and faithful and doing the same thing for a very long time.
And just eventually is going to
exactly
back to how it is.
Or even if it's not destroy, you've got to kill all of upper management. Right. I don't even care the ones who've been doing greatness. It's almost like everybody got to reapply. That's in upper management. You understand what I'm saying? Because the troops are going to follow. Everybody who is a chief, all those people, gone. Reset. New ideas. You can't bring people from an old company into this new company unless they're going to absorb what's happening in this new company.
I'm going to do one simple thing.
Go.
Every police officer, you hold your gun. Look. You have your service weapon, you have your non-service weapon, but most cops, look, you're a cop all the time and you have to carry that piece, or you carry a piece. Most cops carry a piece all the time.
Yeah.
Wear a camera all the time.
All the time.
24/7. And look, and at the end of every week, it's reviewed by somebody or whatever the case is.
And the power has to be, you have to give a new power. Even if the community can't convict you, the community could just say, you're gone because you don't fit the community guidelines. Right. You fit the guidelines of the company, you fit the guidelines federally, but you don't fit the community guidelines. And it has to be respected. We didn't like the way you handled that person because of the way you handled that person. And when that power is renewed and given that, and then now, granted, some people are going to fall by the wayside, but when it keeps gathering and people are understanding this system and saying, no, the fact that even though you were right, legally you could have done that. It was your approach that was the problem, and this is not what we're going to accept. And when that power is given to the people and they have that control, we're there. Right. We're there. So at the end of the day, you may have thought you were legally able to kill Eric Garner. You're wrong. You're gone. You're fired. In a week. Right. Gone. The community has come together. The community board has come together. You're fired. Now, the community board says, okay, so now there's an understanding. Either we want to make it legal or the next person knows you do something like this, you're going too. Right. You're going too. So we might as well just make it a law that you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be making that move. There's no, this wasn't a chokehold. This is a chokehold. A person is choking, and you are restricting them, no matter how you restricted them. Literally. Like anybody who's done any form of martial arts or Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you will understand there's different ways of restricting a person's ability to breathe that has nothing to do with just putting your arm around them. Right. Reform or destroy and build. No matter what side you're on, we know we got to do something about it.
Yes, sir.
For everybody.
Yeah.
So everybody could be safer. I I think we covered that. The cops that see something, they need to say something.
Yeah.
See something, say something.
This is you telling me. Mm-hmm. And first of all, that phrase just needs to be fixed. Don't just no. If you see something wrong, you got to put the wrong. Mm-hmm. You can't put the see something.
But look, there's the whole thing. That makes it subjective. Just give him the camera. I'm perfectly fine with that.
You're right. Just give him the camera.
And let a board of people who are paid to do this just review all the tapes.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We can fix the world.
I'm ready for
one step at a time. The Loose Cannons are fixing the world. I'm No Justin, No Peace.
And I'm Lou Rivers.
And we are the Loose Cannons podcast because every week we sit down and we fire off our opinions on today's pop culture, politics, movies and TV and how they all intersect. This was a great week. We did social media.
What else?
We did Power 6, season 6, episode 9. We did Dolomite. We did Black and Blue. Ooh. Oh my gosh. We gave you a ton of content this week. We'll see you guys next time. This was great. Cannons Podcast on every platform.
Yes.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Hit us up on our social media and make sure you are subscribing to the YouTube channel.
Share, comment,
you got to do
subscribe.
And tell a friend. Don't be selfish.
What up?
Tell a friend.
Hey.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.